So good morning everyone. Today I am going to discuss chemical equilibrium unit 3. Under this chapter, this is the continuation part of characteristics of catalyst. Okay, so we have discussed some features or characteristics of catalyst. Okay, it cannot start the reaction it just increase or decreases the speed of the reactions. Okay, so now number D, the nature of product is unaltered by the presence of catalyst. So nature of the product is unaltered by the presence of catalyst. As for example, N2 gas plus H2 gas under suitable condition will give ammonia in presence of or absence of catalyst. So if you mix N2 and H2, you always get ammonia, whether the presence of catalyst or absence of catalyst. If we reaction carried out in presence of catalyst, the product or yield of the ammonia will be high, otherwise nothing. So nature of the product is unaltered, very important. So nature of the product is unaltered by the presence of catalyst. Okay, so nature of the product is unaltered by the presence of catalyst. As for example, N2 gas plus H2 gas, okay, under suitable condition will give NH3 gas in presence or absence of catalyst. A catalyst doesn't alter the position of equilibrium. So a catalyst does not alter the position of equilibrium. Catalyst does not alter the position of equilibrium in a reversible reactions. For a reversible reactions, catalyst increases the speed of forward reaction as well as that of backward reactions to the same extent. So for a reversible reaction, catalyst increases the speed of forward reaction as well as that of backward reactions to the same extent. Hence, it does not disturb the equilibrium but simply helps to attain the equilibrium quickly. So catalyst does not alter the position of equilibrium in a reversible reactions. For a reversible reactions, catalyst increases the speed of forward reaction as well as that of backward reactions to the same extent. Hence, it doesn't disturb the equilibrium but simply helps to attain that equilibrium quickly. Okay. A catalyst does not alter the free energy change del G of a reactions. Catalyst does not alter the free energy change del G of a reactions. A catalyst provides an alternative route or path for the reactions with a lower activation energy. Catalyst does not lower the activation energy of a reactions. Okay, look, this is the reactant, this is the product. So this is the presence of catalyst, this is the uncatalyzed reactions, absence of catalyst. This is the transition state. So this one is called activation energy. Okay, what will happen? You say in the presence of catalyst, the activation is required for very less amount compared to this amount. So this is the blue line, this is the red line. So in the presence of catalyst, reactant molecules require lower activation energy. So reactant molecule must climb up this amount of energy, this distance, this height. So this amount of energy required to convert reactant to product through a TS transition state. So more number of reactant molecule can convert it into products easily, because TS transition state or intermediate complex or activated complex nothing but unstable which dissipate into products. But in case of absence of catalyst, what will happen? It will require more activation energy, higher heat. You should apply the heat, more amount of heat is required. Okay, so which is economically not benefited. So here what will happen? A catalyst gives alternative path. This is the alternative path, alternative route or path, so that the reactant molecule require lower activation energy. This is the main funda. Okay, so in order this is the course of reaction or reaction coordinate. If you plot energy versus, we get this is the del G, this is the energy of the reactant, this is the energy of the product. So this is the activation energy. Now in order to this, I gave a very good example. Suppose you have a mountain between two valleys, so that the only way for people to get from one valley to other is over to mountain, only the most. So if you want to move from one valley to another valley, but there is a mountain, so most of the energetic person, most of the people cannot go climb up mountain from go to one valley to another valley. So very few or little person can manage to climb up the mountain, then go to the valley 2. Now what is the solution? So suppose you have a mountain between two valleys, so that the only way for people to get from one valley to other is over the mountain. Only the most active people will manage to get one valley to other. Now Suppose a tunnel is cut through the mountain. If you cut the tunnel, what will happen? You do not lower the height of the mountain. We can give or provide the alternative path by cutting tunnel. So if now suppose a tunnel is cut through the mountain, many more people will manage to get from one valley to other valley by this easier route. So it is clear that you have not lowered the mountain. The tunnel has provided an alternative route but has not lowered the original one. So that's why I am telling you, the catalyst doesn't lower the activation energy, it gives always the alternative path, so that the reactant molecules require very lower amount of activation energy compared to absence of catalyst, so that the more number of reactant molecules gets converted to product through a transition state. So explanation of activation energy diagram for uncatalyzed and catalyzed reaction. The action of catalyst can be explained on the basis of intermediate complex formation theory. This is the TS or intermediate complex. Later in the next slide we will discuss how the intermediate complex is formed. So according to this theory, the reactant first combine with catalyst. So according to this theory, the reactant first combine with the catalyst to form an intermediate complex, which is short-lived, very unstable, and decomposes to form products and regenerating the catalyst. You see, so reactant A plus B and C is a catalyst. What will happen? A dot 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 B dot dot C. So they all A, B, C, three elements are linked together by weak bond dot dot dot. This is called intermediate complex. There will be a dagger sign or TS transition state. Then what will happen? We get AB plus C. So we get a product AB plus C, regenerating catalyst C. So that is the information of intermediate complex reaction. So the intermediate complex formed has much lower potential energy. Intermediate TS always has the more energy compared to reactant and product. You see, TS has more energy compared to reactant and product. So the intermediate complex formed has much lower potential energy than the intermediate complex formed between the reactants in absence of catalyst. Thus, the presence of catalyst, the reaction follows a new alternative path which requires less activation energy. Lower the activation energy, faster is the reaction, because more reactant molecules can cross the energy barrier and change into products. So, thus the presence of catalyst, the reaction follows a new alternative path which requires less activation energy. So, lower the activation energy, faster is the reaction, because more reactant molecule can cross the energy barrier and change into products. Clear? So that is the main function of catalyst, role of catalyst, actual role of catalyst. Okay? Now effect of temperature on catalyzed reaction. For every catalyst, there is a particular temperature at which its activity is maximum. So for every catalyst, there is a particular temperature at which its activity is maximum. This temperature is called optimum temperature. So this temperature is called optimum temperature. Generally, the rate of catalyzed reaction increases with rise in temperature. So generally, the rate of catalyzed reaction increases with rise in temperature. But in case of colloidal like platinum salt, a rise in temperature may decrease activity of catalyst. Very few cases. So for every catalyst, there is a particular temperature at which its activity is maximum, and this temperature is called optimum temperature. Generally, the rate of catalyzed reaction increases with rise in temperature, but in some cases like colloidal platinum salt, with rise in temperature, activity of catalyst decreases. Okay, now some important definition, as I told you in the previous video lectures. What is the promoters, activators, inhibitors, poisons, or autocatalyst? Okay, you should know. So, promoters or activators. The efficiency of some catalyst is enhanced. The efficiency of some catalyst is enhanced by the presence of very small amount of foreign substance. So, the efficiency of some catalyst is enhanced by the presence of very small amount of foreign substance. Then this substance is called promoters. As for example, molybdenum acts as a promoters for the iron catalyst in the manufacture of ammonia by Haber process. The efficiency of some catalyst is enhanced by the presence of very small amount of foreign substance. Then this substance is called promoters. As for example, molybdenum acts as a promoters for the iron catalyst in the manufacture of ammonia by Haber process. I have already discussed in the preparation of ammonia in Haber process. So that is the promoter. So promoter means the efficiency of the catalyst is enhanced or increased by how? By the presence of foreign substance, very small amount, okay, which increases the speed of the catalyst. Okay. Now catalytic poison or inhibitors, which inhibits or retards the efficiency of the catalyst. The activity of catalyst is inhibited. The activity of catalyst is inhibited by the presence of minute amount of foreign materials. The activity of catalyst is inhibited by the presence of minute amount of foreign materials is called catalytic poison. As for example, arsenious oxide AS2O3, poison platinized asbestos used as catalyst in the manufacture of H2SO4 by contact process. So activity of catalyst is inhibited by the presence of minute amount of foreign materials is called catalytic poison. As for example, arsenious oxide AS2O3, poison platinized asbestos used as catalyst in the manufacture of H2SO4 by contact process. Okay. So arsenious oxide, poison, platinum, asbestos used as a catalyst in the manufacture of H2SO4 by contact process. Now come to autocatalyst. In this case, one of the product from a reaction acts as a catalyst. If a reaction, there is one of the product acts as a catalyst. As for example, oxidation of oxalic acid. So oxidation of oxalic acid is enhanced in acidified KMnO4 due to the formation of Mn2+. So in this case, one of the product from a reaction reacts as a catalyst. As for example, the oxidation of oxalic acid is enhanced in acidified KMnO4 due to formation of Mn2+. Look at this example, MnO4 minus, Mn is plus 7 because X plus 4 minus 2 equals to minus 1, that is X equals to plus 7. So manganese plus 7 oxidation state plus 16H plus, this reaction, redox reaction carried out in acid medium, plus oxalidine 5C2O4 2 minus, we get Mn2 plus 10 CO2 plus 8 water molecules. Okay, here Mn2 plus acts as a autocatalyst. So one of the product means here Mn2 plus acts as a autocatalyst. Now come to homogeneous catalysis. When a reactions, the catalyst is present in the same phase as the reactant. If reactant and catalyst, as I told you in the earlier video lecture, if catalyst and reactant are in the same phase, whether GG, gas or SS, solid or liquid, then it is called homogeneous catalysis. So homogeneous catalysis means reactant and catalyst should be in the same phase, either solid phase or liquid phase. Okay, it's called homogeneous catalyst, and this catalysis is called homogeneous catalysis. Okay. Next, homogeneous catalysis in gaseous phase. Homogeneous catalysis in gaseous phase. Oxidation of sulfur dioxide to sulfur dioxide using NO as a catalyst in preparation of sulfuric acid by contact process. So homogeneous means both reactant and catalyst are in the same phase. So oxidation of SO2 and 2SO3 using NO as a catalyst in the preparation of sulfuric acid by contact process. You know SO2 gas plus HABO2 gas, both the reactants are gaseous conditions. Here also nitric oxide, which acts as a catalyst, also in the same phase, gaseous phase. That's why this reaction is said to be homogeneous catalyzed reactions. Another examples, decomposition of acetaldehyde CH3CHO in the presence of iodine vapor. You know CH3CHO is a gas, acetaldehyde. Now in the presence of iodine vapor gas, you got methane. So you get methane and carbonyl, CO. So this is also example of homogeneous catalysis in the gaseous phase. Next, decomposition of ozone in the presence of NO or N2O5. So decomposition of ozone, twice NO3 gas, over arrow NO gas, you get oxygen. So ozone to oxygen in the presence of NO gas, all the reactants and catalysts are in the same phase. So that's why it is called homogeneous catalysis in the gaseous phase, GG. So oxidation of CO to CO2 with NO gas as a catalyst. So carbon monoxide to carbon dioxide in the presence of oxygen. Here CO gas, oxygen gas, NO gas. So this is also example of homogeneous catalysis in the gaseous phase. Now homogeneous catalysis in liquid phase. Okay, homogeneous reaction in catalysis in the liquid phase. Hydrolysis of cane sugar or sucrose. Hydrolysis of sucrose or cane sugar in the presence of acid, that is called inversion of cane sugar. So that is called inversion of cane sugar. So we have discussed homogeneous catalysis in gaseous phase, that means reactant and catalyst are in the gaseous phase. Now we are going to discuss hydrolysis homogeneous catalysis in the liquid phase, that means reactants and catalysts are in the liquid phase. So look, this is the sucrose, C12H22O11, this is aqueous medium, plus water is aqueous medium liquid, and H plus also aqueous, all three reactants, and here H plus acid base, acid catalyzed, okay, here so H plus acts as a catalyst, here also aqueous, this is also aqueous, so all of the liquid phase, that is called homogeneous catalysis. In liquid phase we get glucose and fructose, okay, plus minus DL, dextrorotatory and levorotatory. So next examples hydrolysis of ester, ethyl acetate, hydrolysis of ester. So there will be ester COO, okay, hydrolysis of ester, there will be twice COO. By mistake it has been written, so don't worry, I have corrected it right now. Okay, so this is the little correction. This is the ester CH3COO, C double bond O, because this is the R, this is the R, not R or R prime. This is the alkyl group, methyl group, this is the ethyl group. Okay, so these are the CH3COO C2H5 bracket A, within first bracket L plus water. Okay, so H plus aqueous or OH minus acid catalyzed, base catalyzed, you get acetic acid plus ethyl alcohol. Okay, so this one, so this is the ester, ethyl acetate ester CH3COO C2H5, within first bracket L plus water. So both ethyl acetate ester and water, okay, so are in the same phase. Along with H plus aqueous or OH minus aqueous, we get acetic acid plus ethanol. So this is base hydrolysis of ester. This is hydrolysis of ester. Similarly, conversion of acetone into diacetone alcohol is catalyzed by hydroxyl ions. So conversion of acetone into diacetone alcohol is also catalyzed by hydroxyl ion. So acetone, twice mole of acetone CH3COO CH3, COO CH3, this is the alpha hydrogen, twice CH2H alpha hydrogen, this is the functional group. CO, the OH minus accept this proton, CH2 minus. So in this mechanism we get diacetone alcohol, CH3 bond C bond CH3, OH, CH2 bond COO CH3. This is called diacetone alcohol. Okay. Now mechanism of homogeneous catalyzed reactions. So I will, if there is some mistake, I have rectified. If it is not, then I will rectify it in PPT format. Okay, you will get the PPT, no problem. So mechanism of homogeneous catalyzed reactions. In the first step, twice NO gas for these reactions. So you see, in the first stage, NO gas plus O2 gas, we get twice NO2 gas, intermediate complex. Again twice NO2 gas reacts with SO2 gas, we get twice NO, the catalyst plus SO3 gas. Okay, so this is the mechanism of homogeneous catalyzed reactions. Okay, here in the only this is the ethyl acetate within first bracket L plus water. Okay, so next move on. Kinetics of homogeneous catalytic reactions. Kinetics of homogeneous catalyzed reactions. Let us take a simple homogeneous catalyzed reactions. Number 1, S plus C, reversible sign K1 by K2, X. Roman 2 reaction, step 1, step 2, X. Arrow over arrow K3, we get P plus C. Where S is a substrate, that is reactant, substance nothing but a reactant. P is product, C is catalyst, and X is an intermediate complex. Okay, X is intermediate complex, P product, C catalyst, and C catalyst, S is a substrate or reactant. Okay, and K1, K2, K3 be the rate constant. Okay, K1, K2, K3 nothing but a rate constant. So now this dCp by dt, we can rate of formation of product. Rate of formation of product is given below. Rate of formation of product, where the product is formed, here P. P is here, second step P is formed, so that's why rate will be dCp or D within third bracket P molar concentration by dt equals to K3 with from X decomposed to P, so that's why molar concentration of Cx. So rate of formation of product is given by dCp by dt equals to K3Cx is assigned as equation 1 since Cx is the concentration of catalyst. Okay, for the intermediate X, if introduce the steady state postulate, dCp by dt equals to K1 Cs dCp by dt for the intermediate X. Now we are talking about X, where the X is formed and X is decomposed. First we are talking about P, that's why K3Cx, formation of product always plus. Okay, in now talking about the intermediate X, where the X is formed here. So this dCp by dt will be equals to K1 Cs Cc, K1 concentration of Cs, concentration of Cc minus X decomposed, that's why minus K2 concentration of Cx, again X decomposed minus concentration minus K3 concentration of Cx equals to 0. Again I rate of the intermediate X, if they introduce the steady state postulate, dCp by dt equals to what the X is formed, in the first time X is formed. X is formed means rate of reaction is proportional to P, molar concentration of reactants. So dCp by dt equals to K1 for this reaction, K1 molar concentration of CSC and Cc, Cs Cc, okay, minus here X is decomposed, reversible, convert into S plus C, so that's why K2 Cx, okay, again in step 2 X is decomposed, so minus K3 Cx equals to 0. Why 0? Applying steady state postulate. Now we can simplification, we get Cx equals to K1 Csc by K2 plus K3, because if you take common Cx, then it will be K2 plus K3. Okay, if you take common Cx from this, K2 plus K3. Now putting the value of Cn equation 1, we get dCp by dt equals to K3 K1 CSCC by K2 K3, or we can write K1 K2 K3, this K1 K2 K3 as a Kc. So K1 K3 K2, sorry, K1 K3 K1 K3 and K2 plus K3, that is equals to Kc. K3 K1 by K2 plus K3 Kc and Cs 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 Cc. So it clearly shows that the rate is dependent on the concentration of catalyst, that is Cc, molar concentration of catalyst. So dCp by dt directly proportional to Cc. So that is the main motto. From this kinetics of homogeneous catalyst, we have seen that, we get that the rate of reaction depends on the concentration of catalyst. Okay, concentration of catalyst. Okay, so that is the expression kinetics of the homogeneous catalyzed reaction. Next problem. What problem? So this is one numerical problem. 2 moles of PCl5 were heated to 320-70 degree in a closed 2 liter vessel, and when equilibrium was achieved, PCl5 was found to be 40% dissociated into PCl3 and Cl2. Calculate the equilibrium constant Kc for the reactions. Again I read out this. 2 moles of PCl5 were heated to 327 degrees centigrade in a closed 2 liter vessel, and when equilibrium was achieved, PCl5 was found to be 40% dissociated into PCl3 and Cl2. Calculate the equilibrium constant Kc for the reaction. We know PCl5 gets decomposed to PCl3 plus Cl2. Okay. Now this is the reversible reactions. What will happen? Initial concentration is 1, and when the PCl doesn't dissociated into product or PCl3 and Cl2, the concentration, molar concentration of PCl3 and Cl2 becomes 0. So now at equilibrium, what will happen? The concentration, final concentration of PCl5 1 minus x, and concentration of PCl3 x, and molar concentration of Cl2 x. Okay. Now here concentration of PCl5 we know N by V. So N means 2. Okay. Here N means 2. So number of moles 1 plus 1 2. So what will happen? 2 liter volume. Okay, 2, V is 2. Now X is 40%, that is 0.4%. If X is 40%, then what will happen? 1 minus X, that is 1 minus 0.4, that is 0.6. So molar concentration of PCl5 0.6, and molar concentration of PCl3 0.4 and 0.4 for Cl2, because X% gets decomposed. X means 40% gets decomposed means 0.4. So that's why Kc equals to molar concentration of PCl3 into molar concentration of Cl2 divided by molar concentration of PCl5. So as a result we get 0.4 into 0.4 divided by 0.6 equals to 1.6 by 6. Okay. So that is 0.8 by 3, that is 0.26 moles per liter. So this is the concentrations. Okay. So that is the Kc, value of Kc, very simple problem. That type of problem will come in the exam. So you know here percentage means 0.4, 40%. Then you subtract, you get all the concentration of PCl3, Cl2 and PCl5. Then you multiply, you get the answer 0.267 moles per liter. Okay, this is the very important problem. Now we discuss the some multiple choice questions. Okay, what will be the effect of increased pressure? What will be the effect of increased pressure in the following equilibrium reaction? So what will be the effect of increased pressure in the following equilibrium reactions? What equilibrium reaction? H2 gas plus I2 gas, 2HI gas, N2 gas plus 3H2 gas, twice NH3 gas, N2O4 gas, twice NO2 gas. I have discussed several times effect of pressure during the preparation of ammonia, during the preparation of sulfuric acid, during the preparation of nitric acid, and also during the discussion of La-Chatela's principles. So you should remember one thing, the pressure means number of moles in the reactant side and productant side, where the number of moles decrease or increase. If you get this data, you can easily answer this. Okay. So I think there is options, no effect will shift to the right. So which one will be answered? No effect will shift to the right or will shift to the left. So you see here number of moles 1 plus 1, 2, 2 same. Here 1 plus 3, 4, 2. That is in the left hand side number of moles higher. Here 1, here 2, in the right hand side more. So in which case, what will be the number of case 1? There will be no effect. Will shift to the right. Why? Because here 1 mole, 3, 4 moles, here 2 moles, so that's why equilibrium will shift in such a direction where the number of moles is least, and will shift to the left because here number of moles is 2, so that's why in the product side is forward side 2, so equilibrium will shift toward the backward direction to get or to minimize or neutralize the effect. So equilibrium will shift to the left. So I have answered these questions, MCQ questions. So no effect because number of moles same 2, but here number of moles in the reactant side higher compared to product, here number of moles less compared to product side. Next, another question: in which of the following equilibrium change in pressure will not affect the equilibrium? N2 gas plus 3H2 gas, again change in pressure. Okay, so N2 gas, 3H2 gas I have already discussed in the previous slide. We get twice NH3 gas. Similarly, H2 gas plus I2 gas, twice HI gas, PCl5 gas, PCl3 gas plus Cl2 gas, N2O4 gas, twice NO2 gas. Same thing I told you. First is examine where the number of moles is higher or least. If where the least, if you increase pressure, equilibrium will shift towards that side where the number of moles is least. So in the first case, in the right hand side, that is forward directions, there will be no change in pressure. Case 2, here 2, here 1. So in the equilibrium will shift in the left hand side, equilibrium will shift in the also left hand side because number of moles I have 2, here also number of moles 2, here 1. Okay, so I give a clue. Next, if K1 is the equilibrium constant at temperature T1 and K2 is the equilibrium constant at temperature T2, and if T2 greater than T1 the reaction is endothermic, then K2 less than K1, K2 equals to K1 or K2 greater than K1, all of these. So try, this is a very simple question. If K1 equilibrium constant at temperature T1, K2 equilibrium constant temperature T2, and given T2 greater than T1. Okay, try yourself. If you do not get the answer, confused, then I will guide you, I will tell you the answer. If argon is added to the equilibrium, that is inert gases added, I have discussed during the preparation of ammonia at constant volume, then equilibrium will shift in forward directions, I have discussed. During the constant volume and pressure, shift in the forward direction, shift in reverse directions, no shift in any directions, all are incorrect. Number 4, try yourself. Which of the following will change the value of equilibrium constant? Change in concentration of reactant, change in amount of catalyst, change in pressure, change in temperature. Very simple, try yourself. Choose the correct statement. Catalyst increases the rate of reaction, catalyst decreases the time of attainment of equilibrium, catalyst decreases the activation energy, all are correct. So catalyst increases the rate of reactions, catalyst decreases the activation energy, wrong. Catalyst decreases the time of attainment, wrong. Catalyst only increases the speed of reaction or sometimes retards the speed of reaction, and it helps to attain the equilibrium fast. Next, move twice H2 gas plus CO gas, reversible sign, CH3O is methanol, del H minus 92.2 kilojoule. Which of the following condition will shift the equilibrium in the forward directions? CO is removed. Okay, so any of CO means reactant is removed, or methanol is added, or the pressure of the system is increased, temperature of the system is increased. So for these 4 options, which of the following conditions will shift the equilibrium forward? So out of 4 options, in which if you apply any options, that will shift the equilibrium to the forward direction, that will be your answer. Now number 7, in the manufacture of ammonia by Haber process involving the reactions N2 gas plus 3H2 gas, Fe2O3, ammonia gas, del H minus 22.208 kilocalorie. The favorable conditions are high pressure and low temperature, low pressure and low temperature, high pressure and high temperature, low pressure and high temperature. So preparation of ammonia, high pressure, low temperature, this is also I have discussed. Okay, go through this, my lecture, previous lecture, you get these answers. And this is the for your extra informations, change of pressure, change of temperature, change of pressure, temperature, concentrations, what will be the effect, system's response, and equilibrium shifts towards right or left, I have already discussed. Again I will give you an extra reference. If you need, you can go through carefully, you get the details. I hope you are enjoying this video. Thanks for watching this video.